This is the spectacularest Spider-Man 147, and this is a part of the Excellent Men crossover known as Inferno. Inferno continues, the cover boasts, which basically just means Spider-Man is fighting demons. And as you can see from this cover, even J.K. Jonah Jameson is having to fight them too. This is written by Gerry Conway, creator of The Punisher, and it is drawn by artist Sal Buscema. Good creative team, and I wanted to do a video all about the Hobgoblin, but this is actually not the video I was intending. I was going to talk about how badly they handled the Hobgoblin and his secret identity. But this issue actually does summit with this character that I am a big fan of. And I think I am one of the few people who really like this direction for the character. This is the second Hobgoblin. He used to be in the Smashing Pumpkins or something. The original Hobgoblin, the first Hobgoblin, he was a great character under writers Roy Sternman and Tom Falco, but then they eventually ruined him. I'll talk about that more in another video, but the first Hobgoblin, he wound up being killed off unceremoniously, and then Marvel, realising it was an awful decision, they immediately nominated Billy Corgan here to be introduced into the role as the second Hobgoblin. This is part of the Inferno crossover, and the bulk of this issue sees Spider-Man trying to defend New York from demons. But at the same time, this is part of an ongoing Spider-Man story arc all about the Hobgoblin. Spider-Man, he guns to the Daily Planet to help them fortify and fight against the demon incursion, and J.K. Jonah Jameson is there, and so is this woman who is pretty. I fancy her. And then we have got a little subplot bit here with Mary James. She is filming one of her sexy films, and she is having to fight off the demons too. I've made it sound like Mary James is a porn star. She's not. She's in a film and she is sexy, and that is why it is a sexy film. She is very sexy. And like, if she was in a pornographic film, people would watch it because she is really sexy. And here we have got the Green Goblin, but this isn't Norman Osborn. This is his son, Larry Osborn, and he is actually a goody bird. What happened so far in this story is that this Green Goblin, he beat the shit out of Hobgoblin. And right now he is flying around New York, and would you believe it, he is fighting the demons as well. But now we're back with the Hobgoblin. As I said, this guy, he is the second Hobgoblin, and he was effectively forced into this role as the Hobgoblin by editorial. They had killed off the Hobgoblin, who was one of Spider-Man's most popular villains at that point. So they realised they made a mistake and they needed a Hobgoblin. And this guy, he makes sense as a new Hobgoblin. He was a mercenary, and with regards to the reveals of the first Hobgoblin's identity, both the one that came before this and the eventual retcon of that, I think that Billy Corgan here is just a better fit as a Spider-Man baddie, since he has soldier experience, he has more fighting and combat experience than either of the two people who were considered the first Hobgoblin. And here, with this Hobgoblin, he is quite desperate. He's trying to live up to the legacy of the previous Hobgoblin, but he doesn't have the same green gobbler serum to give him extra strength. And, well, he has just had his arse kicked by Larry Osborne. So he gans to this big demon fella and he begs for more power. He begs to be stronger so he can be like a better Hobgoblin. So he sells his soul for more power, and I think exploring the Hobgoblin legacy elements as well as the failures of this character, I think that was quite good motivation for this character and for this development. We'll see what happens later on. At the minute though, the demons are attacking the Daily Planet, and Spider-Man, he has been fighting them all day and he's just really tired. But the demons, they're attacking, so Spider-Man punches one of them in the face, and another one is attacking J.K. Jonah Jameson. And then, look at this. Here is exactly what we saw on the cover. Spider-Man and Jameson side by side fighting demons. Remember the good old days when covers promised you something and in the comic delivered that to a T. And there is the pretty woman again, and she wasn't even on the cover, and I feel satisfied to see her. We've got some solid stuff with Jameson and his hatred for Spider-Man here, really good stuff. But the ending is what's going on with Hobgoblin. He has sold his soul and he has become an actual gobbler. He is a demon. He's got demonic powers now. And I think this is a really good idea for this character. It introduces a whole new element that is exclusive to this version of the Hobgoblin, and it really helps define him as truly different to the original character. I think people didn't like this because, well, it's not very Spider-Man-y. Spider-Man, he doesn't usually fight demons, and there's not usually soul packs in Spider-Man stories, and sacrifices, well, demonic sacrifices. It's just not your typical Spider-Man stuff, and this does take this Hobgoblin into really different places than the first Hobgoblin. And on top of it all, I think people just didn't really like or care for this version of the Hobgoblin, or there being a second Hobgoblin, or even just how the first Hobgoblin was ruined. But as I said, I'll do the first Hobgoblin in another video. I like this issue. I really like these Inferno Spider-Man issues, because while they tie into a crappy Excellent Men crossover, at the same time they just tell their own story with the Hobgoblin and the Green Gobbler. I rate this comic 7 thumbs